again. So this is going to be my monthly roundup for April. And what a month, I have to say. To be honest with you, I'm going to apologise first of all because if you can see here, it's getting dark. The light is fading. It's probably that dusk time, like, I don't know, it's about 7, 8 o'clock at night. And there is still light in the sky, it is still definitely daylight, but at this side of my house at this time of night, it is not sunny whatsoever. And Alan uses the back room to do his working from home in, and he's actually got a Zoom meeting on at the moment. So I've got my light box up in the hope there is a little bit of a better spot for you to see. It's my own fault, I should have filmed earlier in the day, but I've had a really shitty kind of day. Like, I've just felt like today, yesterday, I've just really struggled this whole weekend, to be honest with you, and that's why this video is also going up a couple of days late. Obviously the 1st of May was Friday, and I had every intention to film it on Thursday, but my mood has been in my boots. I'm sure it's not just me that's feeling like that. Everything with regards to lockdown, not being able to see friends, kind of the fear of it all, the unknowing of everything is still really getting to me. And I've always said that, you know, I'm making these wee videos, be it IGTV or YouTube, put my Instagram down here. And I've always said that I want to make these little videos to like take you away from all the COVID-19 at the moment. But I just, like, I was working in the garden this week and we've done really well in our garden. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. And I just really, all of a sudden, really missed my dad. I know that seems really strange. It's been like 3.5 years since he died. But I just really missed him, and I couldn't go and see my mum to talk to her about it. I couldn't go and give her a cuddle. I couldn't get a cuddle. And I can't even go to the end of our garden path and see her because she lives ages away. She lives like 2.5 hours away. And that, on top of not seeing friends, on top of just feeling a bit like I'm making these little videos, and be it again on Instagram or on here, and they're all a little bit superficial, and I'm talking about makeup, or I'm talking about skincare, talking about fashion. I've said before, I'm a nurse, I'm aware of the serious situation that's going on there now, and I think I just felt guilty for not being so focused on it, because I think it's becoming so much normal. It's becoming our normality. This is becoming our normal, which I don't think is a bad thing. But then it dawned on me yesterday that I shouldn't feel bad. I shouldn't feel bad within myself for not wanting to talk about this all the time. That's the honest truth, like. And for that reason, I've just been a bit down in the dumps, and all of a sudden I just gave myself a little bit up the arse yesterday, and I just thought, do you know what? Why am I beating myself up about this? This is my enjoyment. I make these videos because it takes my mind off things, and I like rambling about this shit, so why am I making myself feel so bad? So that's kind of where I'm at now. But I just wonder how everybody else is doing. How are you doing? Like, how are things going? Are you struggling the same way I am? Are you maybe struggling more? Are you more isolated than me? Like, please message me, send me a DM on Instagram, either drop a comment down here, let me know how things are going, and try not to beat yourself up. You're doing quite well. You're all doing really well. We're all doing really well. Just don't beat yourself up. Don't feel guilty. There's no point. First thing I'm going to talk about, lots of kind donations. So, I am a nurse, I work in the NHS, you'll be sick of the sound of it. But what I was going to say is there have been so many lovely donations given, not just to nurses, but also to patients, to doctors, for people who really don't have a flying flip while they've been in the hospital. And I just thought that was really nice. So I'm going to mention a couple of them here. I only have a couple here because obviously, as I say, a lot were for patients and they've been left in the hospital. Lots of Easter eggs as well throughout April, which were really good. We got to enjoy some of them. So basically, Crazy Colour. If you know Crazy Colour, it is a company that is professional beauty systems, I think, normally. And basically, this is normally what I would dye my hair with. They do wonderful colours. They have been in Sally's for a long, long time, Crazy Colour. And this lovely little bottle, they made a separate label, and it is moisturise your skin. I don't know if you can see that there. So it's a hand, face and body moisturiser. And actually on the back it says hand, face, body moisturiser for heroes. I just thought, oh bless you, like, is that not the nicest thing to do? Like, it's so nice. The next thing was I saw on Instagram Salcura, the company, were giving away hand creams to anybody that was an NHS worker. So I obviously punched in my digits and was like, yeah, give me a hand cream. So they sent me this. This is BioSkin, which is for your face and your body. It has omega oils, vitamin E, minerals, geranium castor. It also has, I'm sure, glycerin in it. In saying that, I have tried this on my face the last couple of days because I have other hand creams, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, and this is nice. This is really nice. I never even thought about it before. Obviously it's for your face and body. I would certainly try it on my body, on your elbows, you get any dry patches, on your knees, etc. But this is very similar to the Weleda Skintruth. Just saying, very similar, even a similar like colour, texture, slightly lighter actually as well. So it depends on what you fancy on your face. I really like the Weleda Skintruth Rich, but if that's too heavy for you, then this is really, really good. And so kind of them to donate this hand cream to me. They actually sent 2. Not even gonna lie, they sent 2 and I didn't even need to ask for it. They just sent 2. So one I will be keeping to either go into a giveaway or to give to someone, and the other one I'm using because it's very, very nice. I'm going to continue talking about hand creams because, let's face it, I've been using a lot of them. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the Elizabeth Arden 8-Hour Cream, and this is the Intensive Moisturising Hand Treatment. I really like this. It's absolutely like, there's just a tiny bit left now, and I will put some on right now because I really enjoyed it. It's very like herby, woody. I don't even know what it is that's in it that gives it that fragrance, but it's so like woodsy and herby. I don't know how to explain it, but I really like it because it's not oily. Like, I hate a hand cream where you feel like you're going to rub your hands into oblivion because you just can't get the slippiness off your fingers. So this isn't like that. It's so much more like it just soaks in straight away, and it's got really nice kind of, I want to say slightly medicinal scent, but I like it. The other one that I've been using, and I have nearly finished as well, but not quite, there's still a good bit in that, whereas this is like absolutely done, is the Crabtree and Evelyn Citron Honey and Coriander one. Now this one, it says Ultra Moisturising Hand Therapy. This is available in Boots. I picked it up like maybe Christmas time, I want to say, and just hadn't used it. And the scent is lovely, but what I will say is it's a little more on the side of being that greasy way, just ever so slightly, not terribly, but I would probably pick this one over this one for that reason. The fragrance in this is really nice, but this is a bit more classic greasy hand cream, sorry. So I probably wouldn't pick it up again, but it is alright and I will use it up. Alright, moving on to skincare now. I'm going to talk about The Ordinary. I'm sorry, I know I speak about them an awful lot, but on this channel I have spoken about vitamin C quite a lot, and I haven't done a vitamin C specific video because I've been kind of trying to find the one vitamin C that I really enjoy. I have kind of muddled about with a lot of different ones. I really like the Kiehl's one. The Ordinary one was okay, but I found a little bit gritty. The Inkey List one is too much like a primer, like a mattifying primer. It wasn't for me. So I thought I would look into the pure base of vitamin C, which is ascorbic acid. That is what is used, that is the active ingredient in vitamin C. So I picked up the ascorbic acid powder. Now I have had this sitting on my shelf for maybe 2 months, but didn't use it because I had other stuff to use up first. So this was the first time like I actually really tried this, and I have to say, I think I'm onto a winner. I think this is my version of vitamin C, and this will be the one that I will continue to use. Now, over the last like maybe 3-4 weeks, I've had a lot of people ask me about The Ordinary, and I did do a video, I will link it up here, of my overview of The Ordinary at the 2-year point, and I'm coming up to the 3-year point, and I think I will do a refreshed video because I watched that back earlier today, or parts of it back earlier today, and I thought there's actually things that I say on that I have changed slightly, and things that I'm using a little bit differently. So I may go back and revisit that too. Let me know if you would like to see that, an in-depth overview of The Ordinary. I also had a very nice request to give an overview of Glossier, which don't worry, that is coming. This is the ascorbic powder. Now I'm going to try and show you here. It is an actual powder, and it comes with a tiny little spoon, a tiny little spatula. Basically, you scoop 1 spoon like that, you put that on your hands, and you mix it with a water serum, like anything kind of your water base. I had to look into whether or not what this could be used with, what vitamin C can and cannot be used with. So at the moment, I am mixing this with the not alpha-arbutin, what is it? Sorry, I've had to grab this as well. I may as well mention this as well. This is the arginine solution. Now this targets the appearance of dynamic facial lines. It's supposed to be for kind of around the eyes and your forearm, because I have nice lines up there. But when I read the ingredients list, the first thing on it is water. So it is a water-based serum. So I have been adding a couple of drops of this to a spoonful of that in my hand, mixing it together like a paste, and then applying that. And that's how I've been doing my vitamin C, and I really like it. I have not been finding it to ball on my face or bubble, or what's the other thing people call, like bobble pill, is that what American people say, pill on your face? I found that it sinks in nicely and it just works better than the other ones that I've used. I do still really like the Kiehl's one, and I would use the ordinary vitamin C in the bottle. It's just a little scratchy though, it's just a little scratchy. I prefer this, and if this is the active ingredient, then this is what I'm going to continue to use. I really recommend it. Maybe for your first foray into vitamin C, it might not be the thing, but certainly if you've used a lot of different ones and you're still trying to find the one that you want, and you just think, I don't know how to slot this in, this really might be worth a look. Because if you're already going to be using water-based serums, you just kind of add it in and it works really well. The other thing I was going to mention was, let me see, I can't do it without looking, this one from Boots. This is the vitamin C serum, and this is the one that I tried, and basically this is from ingredients. They're trying to do that whole ordinary Inky List packaging type thing. There's probably still about half in this, and this one is totally liquid. So this one is nothing like the other ones that I mentioned. Like there's no kind of, like, I don't know if you can see there, like it's completely liquid. There is no little bumps in it or anything like that. And saying that, I don't know like how much active ingredient is in this, but the first ingredients in this is, again, aqua, water, and then glycerin. So I wondered, would it be possible to mix this with this, or would that just be crazy? I don't know. But if you're wondering, you want a little like easier and maybe less strength foray into vitamin C, this is a really nice starter. And I think if you're into the big boy stuff, then this is really, really good. That's all I'm going to say at the moment. And then going to move on to this. This is the caffeine eye solution from the Inky List. I have mentioned again before the caffeine solution from the Ordinary, and I do have a bottle of that backed up as well. This one, however, is a little bit more of a cream, and I'll actually bring some out onto my finger so you can see. You can see there? So it is actually like a cream in a tube. And actually, for that reason, that's why I maybe would give this a little bit of a lead over the Ordinary one. I like the Ordinary one. I can't say either of them have any great scientific basis behind them, if I'm honest with you, but just to perk you up a bit in the morning, just if you're needing a little bit something round about your eyes. Also, it looks like I've got a massive bag under the eye, but I think I just put far too much pink eyeshadow on. Anyway, so if you're looking for something to perk you up, now I have been using this morning and night as well. There is no reason why you can't, and it's been something like, it's one of the first steps I will take, because it is a kind of serum based eye cream. It's not a cream like the Kiehl's one that's really heavy. This is a lot thinner, and I want it to soak into my skin and do something, as opposed to sit on the top and keep moisture in my skin. So I've been using this as one of my first kind of steps, alongside the likes of a spray or a humectant and things like that, and then I'll put on this. But I've really been enjoying this. I will use up the Ordinary one before I go picking anything up, but as it stands at the moment, when I use the Ordinary one, if I think, do you know what, I actually like this one better, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm hoping you can see these. We're now going to talk about Skintruth. This is a brand, Skintruth. I have the Vitamin C Booster, the Overnight Oil, and the Radiance Booster. Now, these were very kindly gifted to me, sent from Skintruth. Now, they messaged me, asked if they could send some stuff. I was like, yeah, that's absolutely fine, not a problem, thank you very much. And what I have to say is, because I've become a bit of a vitamin C connoisseur, shall we say that? Maybe that's bigging myself up a wee bit, I don't mean it that way. But because I've tried so many different vitamin Cs, these are 50ml bottles. Now let me tell you what I like about them. I like the fact that they are in glass bottles, which is really, really nice for recycling. This bit here, the cap is obviously plastic. That would have to go to one of these companies that specialise in this kind of thing. I will link stuff down below for that because there are specific companies who do that, but this is glass, which I think is very, very nice. I think that might be why they're a little bit higher priced than I would expect. They are not extortionate, but because they come in glass bottles and things, I think that kind of is going to add a little bit to their overheads. In saying that, I have read their ingredients list and stuff like that. Again, I don't know the strengths of the things, so I don't know, like this is a vitamin C booster, but I don't know how much vitamin C or how much strength vitamin C is in this. In saying that, it is again a very liquidy product. You can see it like slopping about there, and I would say this is much more attuned to the Boots ingredients one. In saying that, this is very highly scented. All the products are very, very highly scented. It's very, very much like this is vitamin C and it's from oranges because it's very, very orangey smelling. Now I like this, but I think, and this is coming from me who likes a fragrance to things, this is maybe a little bit strong for me. I am not overly enamoured with citrus scents. I don't really buy citrus candles. I don't really like citrus smelling perfumes and things like that. So for me, for a skin product, this is a little bit heavily scented for me. It's not that I'm saying the product is bad. As you can see here, I have barely used any of this, and that's partly because I've been like looking at all the other vitamin C stuff I've got. But what I would say is, I think this is a nice product for a starter vitamin C if that's what you're going for. If you don't have irritable skin, because it does have a high fragrance on it, and I like the fact that it comes in glass packaging as well. But I probably would not purchase this out of my own pocket. As I say, this was kindly gifted to me, but this one is maybe a pass for me. I will look to pass this on to somebody though, because I do not want to waste this product. Moving on to the Radiance Booster. Now this is one that has geranium, bergamot and hyaluronic acid and vitamin E, and this one is meant to be like give you radiance. The only thing that I see that is like an active ingredient in this though, again, is the hyaluronic acid. I don't know how much hyaluronic acid is in this. If however you've been a bit scared of trying hyaluronic acid, the full strength stuff, the actual like what do you call it, pure version of it, then I actually think this is probably a very, very nice starter. I have actually used much more of this. I don't know if you can see because there's a label. There we go, that's a little bit better. I've used nearly half the bottle of this. It is again quite highly fragranced, but I like the fragrance of this one. It's kind of fresh, almost slightly minty, weirdly, and floral at the same time. It's very, very liquidy again, and I think as a kind of step to putting that added hydration into your skincare and you've never been sure where to start before, this is really, really nice. I've used it now for 2 or 3 weeks, I want to say, and actually got really good use out of it as well. And I used it in the morning, and I have been using it kind of in the place where you would put a humectant. I've enjoyed using it, and if I enjoy using a product, then I kind of think it's worth my money. I know obviously if things cost a lot of money, then you want to see results from them, but ultimately if I enjoy using a product, then to me that's half the battle, because I think, do you know what, I really enjoy these steps that I'm taking to give myself a little bit of time and give myself a little bit of self-care. And I really do like this. I think it's really, really good. I did speak to someone who kind of knows about Skintruth, who does the PR for them and stuff like that after they sent this to me, and what I'd said was I think they would really benefit from a little bit of an upgrade on their packaging. I had a look at Skintruth, like their page on Instagram, and they have new serums and stuff like that coming out, eye stuff and what have you, aging stuff, and the packaging for that is a lot more classic, a lot more kind of sleek and minimalistic. I think that would do wonders for them, because at the moment it is a little bit kind of childish, this packaging. It would be nice if they just kept it a little bit more simple rather than having like all the flowers and stuff on the box. I don't know, this is my personal opinion, and actually the person I spoke to about it kind of was like, yeah, like I think that would actually really benefit them too. So if you're watching this, you know who you are. I'm not going to say who you are, but you know who you are. But I do think that would work wonders for them if they just kind of gave it that little bit more upmarket look Would that then increase the price? So that is the thing you have to think about, because at the moment they are not in a high price bracket, and I think that's really important. I think they're really good. I will link Skintruth's website below and their Instagram, so you can go and check them out. But I really did enjoy this. I thought this was really nice. And lastly was the overnight oil. Now this box is empty, I'm not gonna lie, and the oil is by my bedside, so I'm not gonna go over there and get it. I can't be arsed. But this one is probably the only one that I'm like, no, it's a no from me, and this is personal. It has lavender, coconut, grapeseed, jojoba, evening primrose and sunflower oil in it. Now if you like an oil in your skincare and you love a really like heavy oil in your skincare in the evening, you might well like this. You might well be like, this is right up my street. Me personally, I do use oils every now and again. It's something that I would use maybe once to twice a week on my face. I don't use an oil every single night, and I don't feel I need to. And if anything, if I use an oil, I feel it's just a bit too much. And I like a thick and heavy cream. But if you're putting oil on and then you put on your moisturiser as well, and it's just too much. It's too much for me. It's not for me. And I love the scent of lavender. I use the Tisserand sleep spray. I use like the Tisserand body spray. If I'm having like a nice bath and then I want to feel like relaxed, I'll use lavender. I like lavender. But this was just a bit too much for me. I think as well, in saying all of this, just toning down their fragrance ever so slightly in each of their products might work wonders too. I personally don't mind fragrance in a product, and I don't have skin that is particularly reactive to fragrance in a product, but I think that the amount of heavy fragrance in each of these could be very off-putting for people. And I think especially when it's something like an oil that's heavy anyway, that, you know, I don't know how I feel about that. And I think, to be honest with you, what I will use this for is, again, after a nice bath, I will kind of put this over my décolletage and my arms and smell the nice oil, but I don't think I'll be rushing to put it all over my face because it's just too heavy for me. I'm not into oils. I don't think it's my thing. I like body oil. I don't like face oil so much. I will every now and again use one. Great if you're thinking about taking a little dabble into vitamin C and not sure where to start. Wonderful. Great if you're thinking of taking a dabble into hyaluronic acid and kind of looking for moisture and radiance. And I would be inclined to pick that up. I would pick this up again. I don't think there's nothing in this that would put me off buying it again. And great if you're looking for a really nice heavy nighttime sleepy oil, but just not for me. It's just not my cup of tea. It's not something I'll put on my face, but I will use it on other areas. We're going to talk about this little tub here that I got from Space NK. This is the Drunk Elephant Nice to Meet You with the Sly Makeup cleansing balm, or cleansing butter I should say, and the Proteiny Polypeptide Cream. There was 2 in this little pot, plus a little sachet of like bamboo powder to mix with your Sly. This was £19 from Space NK, and they are only 15ml tubs. They're tiny little tubs. The Sly I included in my balm cleanser battle. Gonna put that right up there because it is a hell of a long video and I would like some people to watch it. But there's a full rundown in what I think about that butter cleansing balm in that video, so I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to talk about the Proteiny peptide, Proteiny clean, whatever it's called. It's a cream. It's a night cream. I actually think, does this say you can put it on day and night? It doesn't actually say otherwise, but I feel like if I was doing a cleansing balm at night, then I'm gonna, because they came in the same thing, I've been using it at night. I've actually seen a lot of people raving about this, saying it was really good, and I've seen Andrew over at the Skincare Saviour saying that the Inky Lists moisturiser that they've got out is very similar and a fraction of the cost, so that's probably something to keep in mind as well. This is pricey stuff. The Drunk Elephant stuff is always pretty pricey. This to me was nice, but too light for me. It's again a personal thing. It's almost like a gel-like texture. And if you like a moisturising gel as opposed to a balm or a cream, then this might be right up your street. If it's a lot lighter, it is nice. I used it and I thought that was nice, but does it mean I'll rush out and buy the full size? No. It didn't do anything that I thought, oh my god, that was really good, I'm going to put that on my Christmas list. It was just like a kind of really nice light gel type cleanser. Oh, cleanser, moisturiser. So would I rush out and buy either of the two products in that tin? No, I probably won't. And to be honest with you, I was thinking about picking up the Inky List one because I'd seen a lot of nice like hype around it. But then when I seen Andrew saying that it was very similar to this, I thought save my pennies then, because this I wasn't that enamoured with. So even at a lesser price, I'm not going to go for something like that. It just wasn't for me. Alright, moving on to makeup. So this month, I don't think it's come as any shock to you that the You Do You blushes and cheek and eye tints were going to be in this. It's kind of been stuff that I've been putting on my face the whole month. I've really enjoyed it. This one specifically for the eyes. Today I did try this on the eyes. I have got much darker stuff on top of it, to be fair, but again, thought it was really good. Love this for like a powder pink flush of colour as well. It's just so nice and so easy to work with. But I also wanted to mention this one, which I forgot to include in my original video and had to like put an extra snippet in to tell you about. This is the Makeup Academy Blushed in Misty Rose. Now I couldn't see Misty Rose on the Superdrug website anymore, so I don't know if they sold out of it. I don't know what the chat is, if they discontinued it. I couldn't even see it on Makeup Academy's own website. But I really like this as well. It says Misty Rose. I find it to be a lot more of a corally pink. It is much more on the verge of an orangey colour, and I really like this too. So these three have been absolute favourites this month. I really like them. I will link everything below, don't worry. So I have two mascaras this month. The first one is the Rebel Eyes from Gosh, but this one is Mascara Volume. This has been quite nice. I've not hated it. In saying that, I don't think I will pick it up again. It was kind of like a wee free gift I got with stuff that I'd ordered at Superdrug. It's got kind of like one of those rubbery ones, but much more curved than that of Roller Lash. It's okay, it's nice. I didn't dislike it. It doesn't have a lot of fall down, which is really nice, and I will finish it up. I have to say, I really enjoyed this at the very start. As it's dried out though, I find it's clumping a little bit, which I'm just not into. But I don't know if I would pick up again, but it's been enjoyable. That's all I can really say. This one, however, is the Rimmel Lash Accelerator Endless Grow Lash Complex with fibres. Now I picked this one up because I'm absolutely certain this is what I used 10 years ago, and it was in my kind of 2010 versus 2020 makeup type thing that I done not long ago. And I have to say, this was rotten. This was really bad. I think in that video, like, I didn't really get a fair shot of it because I put on massive lashes and I was like, who cares? Like, I'm just putting this on massive lashes. But I have used this kind of, between this one and this one is what I've used the whole month. And every time I use this, I even used it in an IGT video not that long ago. And while I was doing it, I was just like, look at this. Like, you can see in the IGTV video that I'm just like, look at this. Like, this eyelash set, like my right hand eye, the lashes on this one, every time I use this, it's just like spider's legs everywhere. This one never seems to be quite so bad, but this one is always just fucking horrific. I really didn't like this. I will not pick this up again. I wondered if it was going to be like if it dried out after a little while. The brush is a little rubber ones again, but the brush is really quite petite and tiny. I don't know if that's helping matters. Stabbed myself in the eye with it when I was going right to the root as well. I'm just sorry, Rimmel. I know yous are good, and some of the other things that I picked up for that video were really good and I was impressed with, but this one was not one, and I will not buy it again. Sorry. I can't really comment on whether it makes your lashes grow because I haven't used it enough, and I probably won't use it enough. And the last piece of makeup is Glossier's Generation G lipstick in Cake. Now this one is like a kind of, do they say it's a peach or a nude? I can't remember. They say it's like a peachy nude or some crap like that. These Generation G lipsticks, that's it there, are fabulous. I really like them. I've always really liked them. I like them even more now that they're in this nice new packaging that are much better than the ones from the initial launch. Cake was never one I was overly like interested in, but see, since I've got it, I really haven't had it off my lips. I've not got it on today. I've got pink on today, but it's great. I love it. I think it's wonderful, and I will probably pick up other colours. And if there's anything I can say about Glossier, the Generation G lipsticks are really nice. Alright, so what have I been watching on TV? First of all, does anybody remember the programme Life on Mars that was out in like 2007 or something like that. You might all be a bit young, I don't know. But it had the guy from Human Traffic in it, John Sim, and I loved it. I thought it was really good, and Alan had never seen it before, and I found out that they're going to release a new series of it, so I thought let's rewatch that, and then we can watch Ashes to Ashes with Keely Hall in it as well. I loved both of those series, so we've been rewatching that and I've really been loving it. And Alan was like, I don't know how I never watched this. This was great. It was a wonderful programme. And he was like, I don't know how I never came across it before now. So I've really been enjoying that. It's not new though, so, you know, take that what you will. I watched Unorthodox and it was fascinating. And I thought it was brilliant. And I thought it was so well done. And I thought it was gripping and I couldn't stop watching it. And I think there's only, is it 5 episodes? I think there's only about 5 episodes, 8 or 5 episodes. So it wasn't terribly long to watch. They're about an hour each. And it was fantastic. It was about a girl who is in Williamsburg, I think Brooklyn area. I'm really bad with geography. I'm very sorry if I'm offending anybody. And to be honest with you, there's a really strict Orthodox Jewish community there. And she marries into that, and she's been brought up like that, and that's the way her life is. And she flees from that and escapes it. But it's so interesting, so interesting, and as I say, so well done. You're not looking at that Jewish community thinking, well, maybe some people are, but I didn't watch it and think the Jewish community are terrible and they're terrible people for keeping her there. I could see it from both sides, and the way that it was played out was very, very good, because I actually really felt for the guy, her husband, who came to try and find her and stuff like that. Like, I really felt for him as much as I did for her wanting to leave the community. It was great, it was really good, and I thoroughly suggest you watch it. And lastly, that I've watched this month has been Afterlife. Now, if you haven't heard of Afterlife, I'm just kind of like, where the fuck have you been? I'm sure I've mentioned it in a favourites before. I'm pretty damn sure that I was like the first series for Ricky Gervais, and I adored it. After losing my dad a few years ago, it was very difficult to converse how I was feeling about it all, and it was very difficult at times to, like, people just didn't understand why sometimes you just wanted to tell people to fuck off, to be honest with you, and why sometimes you just were so snide and so angry and just a bit like, you just don't really understand it until you've been through it, like until you've lost somebody really close to you. I don't think you will ever understand it, and that's not me wanting to undermine anybody, but the way he puts it across is so good. It's brilliant, like this pain, but humour and love, and it's just the way that it's all put across is so true to life, and that's why I really enjoy it. And the second series is equally as funny and equally as good, and had me in floods of tears equally amount of times, and I thought it was brilliant. And I would say, if you haven't heard of it, please go and watch them. Please go and watch both of them, because if you have anybody who you know, be it a workmate, or be it, not that you're probably be at work right now, but be it somebody that's lost somebody and you just don't know what to say, or you just don't know why they're not the person they used to be, or anything like that, it might just give you the insight into what's going through their mind sometimes. And also, as someone who's been on the other end of that, made me think I should stop being so much of a dick at times, to be honest with you, because people are just trying to help. So I found it really good. So that's been my 3 watches for kind of Netflix and the TV. And now I'm going to tell you about a couple of books that I've read. Again, because we've been on lockdown, I have found myself reading a lot more frequently than I normally would. Now, last month I spoke to you about Sally Rooney's Normal People, and that I had ordered Conversations with Friends. This one, didn't like it as much as Normal People. I really enjoyed Normal People. I felt a bit of an affinity with Normal People. This, however, was a little bit different. It was about 2 girls who are like best friends, well, one girl in particular, who are best friends, who become friends with a couple who are married through work and kind of social type things, and they are a little bit older than them. And then the main character begins to have an affair with this husband. The difficulty I found with this book was the characters in this book are not overly likeable. The main female character, despite being kind of interesting. Like, all the characters are relatively interesting, but I just felt like I didn't like any of them. They were all a little bit like up their own arse, and they were all a little bit kind of woe is me. And I think the main girl in it ends up being diagnosed with endometriosis, which in itself is not a very nice thing to be diagnosed with. It's a horrible thing to be diagnosed with, but I didn't even feel sorry for her, which is a horrible thing to say. It's awful, but I just was like, serves you right. Like, it obviously doesn't. People who have endometriosis, please, I understand it is very serious and it's a chronic illness. Like, I'm not undermining it, but the person in this book who got it, I was just like, you're a bit of a dick anyway. Like, I don't like you. The wife in it was a total dick. Her friend in it was a total dick, and the guy she was having the affair with, although I think what Sally Rooney does is write that connection really well. I think she writes about that connection between two people really well. So that's why I wanted to, like, it wasn't like I read this and I thought, this is boring me. I wanted to finish it. It was gripping, it was interesting, but the actual characters in it I really didn't like. And maybe in a way that was why it was kind of interesting to me, because I thought, God, these people, like, their arse so low, and I kept reading it. But I definitely finished it, and I certainly would say it was a good read, but just not quite as enjoyable as Normal People. And lastly, the last thing I'm going to speak about is this one from Rainbow Rowell. This is Attachments. It's a little bit of a chick flick novel. It's interesting. Like, I read the bio of it on Amazon. I ordered like 5 books this month because I found I was running out of things to read. And this was actually written in 2011. But what it's based around is the millennium, like people sending emails to each other, because the internet was a kind of vaguely new thing and it was all a bit new, and Y2K and the crash, and whether or not all the computers are going to stop working, because God forbid they should go to 00, and that's never happened before, and what are we going to do? And I grew up in that era. I was maybe in like 2nd year or something when the millennium happened. I was maybe about 13 years old. I was just starting to go into the likes of chat rooms and MSN and all that kind of stuff. So this was very nostalgic for me to read. But because it was written in 2011, I feel a little bit like it's written a little bit like the presumption of how things would play out. Whereas now, in 2020, and we know about Tinder and Twitter and all these other kind of things, and everything is so secondhand to us just on our phone. This does seem a little bit dated now that I'm reading it. It's good though. It's about 2 women who email each other via work, and a guy who is like the security guy who has to check the web defense folder, so in case anybody's talking about anything dodgy they shouldn't be. And he ends up really involved in their relationship as friends. Not like, he's a little bit creepy, I'm not gonna lie, but not overly so. You start to, I actually, towards the end of the book, I was like, I actually really like his character. I think his character is really nice, and I felt for him a little bit because, again, he seems a little bit of a dweeby guy. He seems a little bit like he was playing Dungeons and Dragons every weekend, and I had friends like that when I was growing up. We were all a bit geeky and on the computers and playing RPGs and stuff, and he seems a little bit like that, and he kind of just wants to like find a new relationship and mingle with normal people. So I guess what he's trying to say. And he's never really been good socially, and he still lives with his mum, and he's a little bit awkward, but I actually really grew to like him. I thought he was really good. And this, like, the 2 women's relationship as friends was just really interesting to watch unfold. So it was a good book. It's probably one that I would find very easy to read by the side of the pool if I was supposed to be on holiday now, like, you know. I probably would have done that and flicked through it, no problem. It was a simple read. It was really easy, and, you know, it was just nice. It wasn't anything spectacular. I've not learned any great big lessons from it or anything. It was just a nice story. So that is it. That is us for this month. Please go like, subscribe, do whatever you want. I am desperately trying hard to get to 2,000 followers over on Instagram, so I would very much appreciate if you go over there and check that out. If you're already a follower on Instagram, then please subscribe to this. Why don't you? Because I have longer videos here, and sometimes they're a little bit more interesting than me doing a face time or time lapse of my makeup on my face. Either way, please subscribe to both. I hope you're all well. Please keep your chin up, as I said. Stop feeling guilty for all the things you aren't doing. There's no point. And I will speak to you all again soon. Bye.